All right, so hello everyone. Let's start the Fearless Wallet demo. All right, so our agenda will be pretty classy. So we're going to discuss our recent sprint, which were lasting for last 3 weeks, I believe. We're going to discuss goals and results, issues, and finally we will see the demo of the actual results. After that part, we're going briefly through the plans and priorities. So we're going to discuss staking finalization. So what is left for us to complete everything which we agreed with the Kusama Treasury regarding the staking milestone. And also we will discuss our new proposal to Kusama Treasury, which focuses on the multi-asset mode and new networks added to the Fearless wallet, as you can see on the screen right now. Right, but let's briefly cover how you can follow the Fearless wallet development. So you can always visit our website, and on the website you can find the public roadmap, which is updated on the fly based on our development. And you can also see the dev status of each particular feature which we are working on right now. Also, everything is open source in Fearless wallet, so please welcome to visit our repos with a code base, as well as apps and libraries. And if you're a more design person, you can also visit our mockups for upcoming features and for existing features. And make sure that you have joined our Telegram group, following us on Twitter, communicating with us on the Element, and watching our great videos on YouTube. All right, so let's start the sprint review. So our goals almost a month ago were the following. So first, we wanted to improve our staking in terms of completing features and improving existing one based on the user's feedback. That being said, we were focusing on testing and completing the custom validators flow. In particular, we were focusing on search and filters feature. Next, our priority was staking analytics. We are working together with subquery team to refine and develop subquery project to get more data from Kusama nodes. And of course, we were working on the user interface part of analytics. Next, our priority was refactoring your validators and validator info screens, meaning that based on the user feedback, we understood that basically we had some misunderstandings on the screen, so we reworked it to be more transparent and understandable. And general UX UI improvements based on users' feedback, such as we have added countdowns for the new era when exactly it will be started, right? Because lots of users were asking us in the community groups, like, what does it mean, like waiting for next era, how long we should wait, and so on. We also added countdowns for the pending rewards and unstaking requests. So whenever user trying to unstake their tokens, they will see not only the days, but also the exact time in hours and minutes and seconds. And we will talk about it in more details later. And we have also focused on guiding information on confirmation screens because lots of users found starting staking in Fearless wallet very easy, right? It's just a few tabs on a mobile device. However, they were not sure what following up next, so how rewards are paid and so on. So we have added some hints during the start staking flows in order to inform user about that. The next big topic was actually the proof of concept. So lots of new exciting features are coming to the Fearless wallet, and we had to first research, make some prototypes in order to move to this direction. And one of the example would be the mobile signers, which is pretty awesome feature. You can connect your mobile application to any decentralized application in Polkadot and Kusama ecosystem. And we were using the Beacon SDK for it. And in fact, we are working together with them now, refining this SDK and trying to make it as comfortable to use as possible for the whole ecosystem. The next research was the multi-asset one. So we had to first understand our technical capabilities of adding new tokens, adding new networks to the Fearless wallet before we will submit it to Kusama Treasury. So we had to understand our limitations first before committing to such huge change in the Fearless wallet. And last one here is push notifications. We were mentioning it for a while now, but basically we are working with Ribena bot team to provide push notifications to Fearless Wallet. So basically, whenever anything happening is with your account, you will receive the push notifications. And of course, you can manage it completely. So you can turn it off, you can turn it on for certain events, or you can turn it on for all events basically with your account. And last section here is general improvements. So we have been working on the new semantics, not only for staking actually, but for general application. Again, based on the user's feedback, because lots of users do not understand like what does bound mean or unbound mean. And we try to simplify things, and we will see how it will work. Also regarding the semantics, we just made lots of effort bringing on localization again, because once we have started the staking, it was kind of, let's say, outdated activity. We were not doing the localization much, but now we have made all the steps which were required by the community to help us to translate on the other languages. And yeah, of course, major and minor bug fixes. So let's see what are the results for the sprint. As you can see, we mostly completed everything. We have not been able to touch the push notifications prototype, unfortunately, and the rebuilding team is very angry on us. But yeah, it was in our priority to basically focus on multi-asset research, because lots of users are now asking about their parachain tokens, right? Parachains are now launching, and since users participated in the crowd loans, they now want to receive these rewards and see them in Fearless Wallet. So that's basically our main priority right now. Regarding the staking analytics, it was done in terms of the subquery project. So we have developed a subquery project in terms of getting this data from the blockchain. But in terms of the user interface, we are still working and we're still implementing remaining features before releasing it. And other than that, everything was mostly done in terms of implementation. And now we are just finishing the testing and polishing these features. Let's now dive deeply in each of these features to just get better understanding what we have discussed. So let's start with your validators. If you remember the previous version of the screen, this was saying like active, inactive, and so on, but it was contradictory with actual staking status, because you might have had a validator which is active. However, your stake was allocated to the oversubscribed part of this validator. So in reality, your stake was not really active. It was inactive because you won't receive the reward since your stake was allocated to oversubscribed part of the validator. So we tried to basically redo the screen to focus on the validators themselves. So now you can get more details about your validators, in particular on this screen. So you can see that we have changed the naming. Now we have these elected statuses and not elected statuses, right? Because that's the statuses of the validators themselves. And if your stake is allocated, you will see this nominated part. And if your stake is now allocated to the oversubscribed part, you will see this messaging all over these features. You will see it on your validators, you will see it on validator info, and if the slashing occurs, you will see the slashing notification here as well. And we also introduced new alert on the main staking screen for users to understand, for example, why their staking is not active due to the oversubscribed validator. So we try to improve in this direction. Next, regarding the countdowns, you can see these 3 examples of them on the slide right now. So now you can see this countdown for waiting for the next era, and we will see it on the demo today as well. But basically, user will now understand how long they should wait, right, based on this timer. The similar thing we have on the payout rewards. Now we have precise information in terms of the hours, minutes, and the seconds. And also we have this information for unbonding requests. So, sorry, unstaking requests. So now you will see exact time when your stake amount would be available for redeem. Now, it might be looking like as a trivial task, but in reality, when you're dealing with the blockchain, you need to be very careful with the time, because we cannot just say that one era is 6 hours. you need to constantly synchronize with the blockchain to get the precise time when exactly this unstaking request will be finished, or when this payout will be expired, right? So we did a lot of work in terms of synchronizing Fearless Wallet with the blockchain. Next here is guiding information. It's a pretty interesting one. So let's see, for example, on the left, we have the start staking flow. And on the final step, when user confirms their start staking action, they will basically see sort of like help information, right? So you can see that stake tokens generate rewards each era, which means on a Kusama like 6 hours, and on Polkadot is 24 hours, and message will say this. Now, if you want to unstake tokens, you will have to wait for an unstaking period, and basically it informs user for all the basically events which will happen with their staking, right? So how often they will receive the rewards, what they need to do to unstake, and so on. So they will see this as, let's say, like terms and agreement on this confirmation screen. So they will understand it upfront. And the same goes for any staking operation, for example, stake more or unstake, and so on. So they will have this guiding messaging on the confirmation screen just to make sure that they will get possibility to learn about these actions. And most likely last here, in terms of the staking improvements, is the pending rewards feature. So lots of users still don't understand how exactly rewards are paid on the Polkadot and Kusama. We do have educational stories on the main screen of Fearless Wallet, right? Which are basically educating users, like describing what is ERA, how often rewards are paid, who and how claiming those rewards, and so on. But it seems that not all of the users are looking through these stories, right? So we decided to change the feature or the naming of the feature itself to make it more understandable, right? So we have renamed rewards payout to the pending rewards, which basically show user rewards which have not paid out yet, right? And basically there is a guiding message, because lots of users told us like, do they need to pay out rewards manually or it will be automatically, and so on. And we tried to explain them the process of paying out the rewards, that validators usually paying those rewards and you don't need to like pay the fees for that. However, if you see that validators is not really active with the pending rewards, you have this opportunity. That's why you can basically pay out it by yourself, right? So yeah, that's basically this improvement. Now, let's touch base on a proof of concept, and let's start with the multi-asset mode and new networks, the proposal which we just submitted to the Kusama Treasury. So our idea is to unite all the networks and all utility or main tokens of these networks to one place in Fearless Wallet, which brings certain changes to the app. And as you can see, you can basically see all the tokens of the ecosystem on one screen, right? We can see the Kusama token, we can see the Polkadot token, and other ecosystem tokens, right? In one place, basically. And also, we do acknowledge that many of these networks, for example, Karura, Sora, Moonriver, will have almost like thousands of tokens. So we need to introduce some feature which will help users to manage those assets, manage their order, manage their visibility, and so on. So you can see how you would be able to do so. And the last part, which might be not very trivial on these mockups, is that you can see that users have like free versions of Kusama tokens, but that because Kusama can exist on different networks at the same time. That's why we need to display user Kusama balance in different networks. And that one of the approach how we will do so. And basically we will try to refine and evolve this approach based on the user's feedback, based on our experience and other suggestions. But this is like straightforward solution for this, and lots of mobile wallets do this. All right. not only wallet will be basically touched by this change, but also all the parts of the application. And you can see that, for example, staking is now changed as well. On the top of the screen, you would be able to select the token which you're going to stake. And you can see that the options might be the Kusama token, the Polkadot token, the Kusama token on Karura, because they have a special program for it. You can stake also Sora or Moonriver or other tokens, right? So our goal is to provide a user basically interface to interact with the staking across multiple networks. Because due to the nature of the substrate, you can basically use the same code, more or less, and provide these features for many networks. So yeah, that's how it will be done for the staking. And in the future, we will most likely wrap staking and other features which allow you to basically earn more tokens or like compound your tokens to some different user interface, because yeah, that's probably not the fanciest solution to have a token selector on the top. All right, so as for the next slide, we can see the crowd loans. That's basically pretty much the same as we saw on the staking screen. And also the network screen will be slightly reworked, because lots of users told that it's a bit confusing that when they open the networks, Fearless Wallet allows them to select the different nodes, and users which are not really familiar with the concept of the blockchain do not understand what does it mean, like, and that they have free Kusama nodes or free Polkadot nodes and what they should do with this, right? So we have slightly changed that to the following approach. We will basically list all the supported networks, so user can understand like which network is supported right now in Fearless Wallet, and then they can go into the details and select what they're going to do with the connection itself, right? And basically what they can do is they can basically remain to after select the node. So Fearless Wallet will select the best performant node from the list, or they can basically select any of these nodes or even add their own node to the Fearless Wallet to connect to. Sorry. Now, the last part of the screen is how the accounts management will be changed. And this is pretty interesting story. So what we decided to do, we decided to wrap the accounts in sort of the containers, which means that basically for now you have many accounts in the Fearless Wallet, and in every of this account you have direct connection to certain networks. For example, you have 3 accounts for Kusama, you have 4 accounts for the Polkadot, and so on. With this update, each of your account would be able to connect to any of the network. And basically, you can see when you will go to the details of this account, you will see the addresses of your account in certain networks. You would be able to do the same features like export this account or import new account and so on. So basically all the features regarding export, import, and compatibility with other applications such as Polkadot.js will remain the same. The only thing what is changing is how Fearless Wallet using your basically private key to get access to multiple networks at the same time instead of selecting the certain network to connect right now. Which means that basically it will dramatically improve the user experience for those who have different tokens across different networks, and this will help them a lot to have all the tokens in one place. And another reason is that recently we had the first wave of Kusama crowd loans, and if you were a very active user, you participated in lots of crowd loans, and now you're expecting some rewards to be paid on your account. And if you will remain the same approach which you have right now in Fearless Wallet, then basically you would need to create a new account from your existing account in Fearless Wallet, but for different network, which is sort of the pain, right? And then you would need to switch between these accounts. So basically this feature should improve dramatically the user experience for working with multiple assets. And generally it's a common pattern for blockchain wallets in other ecosystem, for example, in Ethereum one. All right, I see there's some messages in the chat. I'm not sure that I understand the comment regarding Kusama total on the main network. But yeah, okay. Let's have it for the end of the presentation. Yeah, hi. All right. Let's also talk about the mobile signers proof of concept and why basically it's important and useful. I have a short demo. It's recorded one, just for simplicity. I will try to speed up just to not waste 4 minutes. But generally, mobile signers is a very useful feature for the ecosystem and for mobile applications, because basically you will have an example in this demo that I have a fearless wallet on the left on mobile device, and I have certain decentralized application which is shown in the web browser. That one is pretty dummy one. It allows you to transfer some tokens, but ideally, and the concept of it is basically that you perform some operation outside of your mobile app, let's say like on your laptop or your PC, you're doing this operation in a web browser. And then you're scanning QR code from this web browser using your Fearless wallet. And Fearless wallet will be allowed to sign this operation which you previously started in another application to just send it to the blockchain. And you can see right now, I'm trying to connect the web application with the Fearless wallet. You can see that QR code is now showing up in the web application. And now I will scan it using the Fearless wallet. You can see that in Fearless wallet now I have a screen basically regarding the connection to this Polkadot example decentralized application. And now whenever I will do some transaction or operation in this basically decentralized app in the browser, it will be sent to my Fearless wallet to be signed and sent to the blockchain itself, which basically allow us to support all of the decentralized applications which are coming to the Polkadot ecosystem. And now you will see just an example on recording with a transfer. So now I'm entering here the recipient address. I'm entering the amount of the tokens which I want to send. And then I will tap a sign button, right? So let's see what will happen. Once I tap a sign button, the screen in the Fearless wallet will appear. You can see that the confirmation screen is now appeared on the Fearless wallet, basically with the information of the operation which I just finished in the web browser. So it's transferring this amount of Western tokens. I can basically view the details of this transaction in raw data. So how basically operation is formed, right? Just to make sure that decentralized application hasn't sent something malicious to me. I can always review what this transaction is about, right? And then I can confirm this. I can confirm this operation, which I have just started in my web browser. And it will be sent directly to the blockchain, which means, once again, that if this solution will be integrated in every decentralized application in the ecosystem, it means that Fearless wallet and other mobile wallets can just scan QR code and sign the separations, right? Which means that you don't need to wait a certain mobile wallet to implement some feature of your parachain or your decentralized application and so on. This basically can be available from day one because you now have a control of your private key and you can sign whenever you want. So yeah, that was a little demo of mobile signers. And why it's important in the ecosystem, because Polkadot and Kusama ecosystem is still growing, it's still very young, and we do not have a solution yet for that. And now we're working with a Beacon team to refine all technical things related to the how other mobile wallets can integrate this solution and how other decentralized applications, like I show you the dummy one, but imagine certain like decentralized exchange integrating this, and you can basically perform all operations using Fearless wallet and scanning QR code. So yeah, this is very important for the whole ecosystem and for Fearless wallet itself. All right. So give me a second. Right, so let's proceed with the live demo itself. We're going to briefly cover the custom validators feature because we previously covered it on the last demo, but we haven't go into the details of search feature and filter feature. So we will take a look on it right now. So give me a second, I will share my screen. By the way, if you have questions, you can basically write them in the chat and we will address them either now or in the end of the meeting. All right, so can you see my screen of iOS device right now? Wonderful. So yeah, let's take a look on the custom validators feature one more time. Basically, we can select any of my existing account. Let's say this one. Let's wait for data to be loaded. And we can also review your validator screen right now. You can now see that for this account in particular, 13 validators are elected, and we can see to which validator stake is allocated, thus with which validator we are receiving, we will receive the reward in this era in particular. We can also review other elected validators, and we can also review not elected validators. So for example, this in particular validator was not elected in this era, which means that you can see that screen from time to time to understand how validator performs, right? So to form the ideal list for yourself. Spoiler, we will also have this in analytics, detailed information with which validator you have staked and for how long, right? But yeah, it's also useful to see this information here as well. So let's try to change the validators. Now, users will have two options, either to proceed with recommended validators, which fills wallet forms to the following criteria and which pretty much familiar for our users already, but yeah, we can see this list. We can see all these validators which Phyllis Wallet now recommends for us, and we can just continue and basically update our validator list. Or we can just select all these validators by ourselves, which is pretty cool because validators performance changing from time to time, and it worth to revisit this feature, not this feature, but your validator list to maximize your profits, to select more reliable validators, and so on. So what we can see here, we can see here all elected validators, which are already filtered by the Phyllis wallet in terms of once again, identity, not slash, not oversubscribed, and having identity. Removing clusters for validators. So what we can do here, we can basically deselect all validators which I was selecting, and you can see this button here, deselect all. Now you can see that none of the validators is selected by myself. And what I can also do, I can clear the filters. And now you can see that the app will show me all 900 validators available, right? And we can see all these clusters, for example, this one, the Jaka one, and the rest clusters below, like Zoo Capital and so on. But what we can do, we can, for example, turn on the filter of limiting 2 validators per identity, and boom, we do not have these clusters now. So we have only 2 validators per one identity, which means that basically we will not see so many JK validators or Zoo Capital validators. Yeah, we can see that only 2 validators of JK are remained, 14th and 29th, which is cool. So what it allows me to do is basically to select any validators I want to, and I can also search certain validator. For example, let's consider that I have address of my familiar validator. I go to the search, and then I will paste his address or her address in the search bar, and I would be able to select them, right? What I can also do, I can also enter the name of certain validator. For example, we saw the Jacka, right? And we can see that in search, actually, our filters are not working because search should allow you to obtain all validators and basically search for all validators from a list. So we can see that we can select any of these Jacka validators. Right. We have just selected 4 validators. Let's consider that those one were familiar. And now we can select 20 more, but we do not know how we can select them. So what Fill Wallet allow you to do, we can tap on this button, Fill Rest with Recommended, which basically will top our validator list with the recommended validators from the validator recommended algorithm. So once I tap on this one, we can see that top 20 validators from recommended list are also selected. Now, you can see that the first one actually with the highest rewards is not selected. So let's try to select them. And we can see that this validator in particular is not receiving nominations, basically. So users cannot basically nominate those validators which by themselves turned off the opportunity to nominate them. And Phyllis Wallet basically displays those validators, but yeah, they cannot do anything with this. Right. So we can just proceed with these selected validators. And now we can basically either review them, right? Review our list of validators and proceed with changing our validators. So let's wait for feed to calculate at finished. And let's confirm our updating validators operation. We can see a pop-up that transaction was submitted. And now our validator screen will be basically changed based on the validators which we just selected. Let's wait for some time. Or let's just try to reopen this page. I see the question regarding why are there 901 and not 900? That's an interesting question. I'm questioning myself this, but yeah, we will see what's happening. So now you can see that on your validators, there is only one, let's say, elected, because this information is saved for our current era because we are staking with this particular validator. And for the rest of the validators, we just selected new one, which will be active for our staking within next era, right? So yeah, this is your validators feature and how it was updated together with a custom validators one. So as for the timers, I have one testing account here just to show you how timers are working. Probably this is the one. Yeah, you can see like these pending rewards now turned red because there is like half of their lifetime is available. So basically each reward is reserved on Kusama and Western for 21 days. And we decided to highlight the rewards which are already like half period to the expiration date, which means that 9 days, for example, in this particular case. And once it's less than 1 day left, we have this dynamic timer, which basically allow us to pay out these rewards. So yeah, that's the timer feature, which we wanted to show you. And also, we are now merging these changes with all this confirmation text for the staking, like a hints, and with localization. So that's the feature which currently we are working on right now to be completed before we will push the releases to App Store and Google Play. All right, so let me turn the screen sharing again and let me revisit the chat. Yeah, regarding the total balance of Kusama token, for example, we have a nice discussion in a Polka assembly in our proposal. And one of the council members, actually Jem, also suggested an idea of uniting these Kusama tokens. However, it will definitely simplify the user interface and understanding of a user on the wallet screen. But once the user will start to do something with these tokens, lots of, let's say, user experience traps will appear. And I have tried to describe this, well, not traps, but challenges in my comment here. But basically, imagine a situation when you have Kusama tokens distributed across all networks and you want to transfer all your Kusama tokens in one, let's say, click, right, to a certain address, which means that your application need to do all this bridging operation first. So your Phyllis wallet will need to unite all your Kusama balance to certain network. Most likely, this will be the same network as your address of the destination, which you have just entered. And basically, once this operation will start to be performing, we have lots of potential failures, right? To basically, what will happen if certain transition from certain network to destination network will fail? How are we going to inform user about it, right? So you can see that this will require user at least like n transfers from different networks. So let's say our Kusama token is distributed across 5 networks, and the Phyllis wallet will first need to do 5 transfers from these networks. And in the nature of the ecosystem, it seems that every network has this transfer to be described differently. So it's not the same extrinsic or transaction type. It's different to the different networks. So we have all these potential vulnerables of failure. And even once we've done all of these transfers to a certain network and we accumulated all of our Kusama balances in the same network, fail can be achieved once we will send from this network which we located on to the destination one. So we cannot basically completely simplify this from a user. At certain point, we will have to show the information about this token distribution because some issue can be happening. And in this case, we need to basically provide context for a user, like what's going on with their balances. But it seems in Polkadot ecosystem, it's a task which can be solved. And what we're going to do in the Phyllis wallet, we're going to first proceed with this approach because basically it's most safest one. And if you think about it, if you have your Kusama tokens distributed across different networks, it means that on some point of time, you did it by yourself, right? So you moved your Kusama token to, let's say, State Mine or like Moonriver or Karuru or Sora. So you understand what's going on. So you will be not surprised why you have 3 types of Kusama on your account, which means that it will be still simple for most of the users because I'm not sure that most of the users will do these operations with Kusama tokens across different networks, but we will see. What we're going to do now, we're going to proceed with this approach, and later on we can refine it because that's basically a point where we can improve, right? So yeah, that's regarding the multi-asset visibility of the tokens. On the test site in which signing a transaction was sent to the phone IP in the connection site, how did you sign from which? Yeah, so regarding the beacon, how it works is that decentralized application need to integrate the beacon SDK as well as mobile application need to integrate the beacon SDK. And this operation, which you have started in the decentralized app, right? Let's consider some DEX, right? This operation which you started at the DEX will go first unsigned to the beacon. And beacon will transfer this to us, to the Phyllis wallet. And in Phyllis wallet, you would be able to see the details of this operation. Once you will see the details of operation, Phyllis wallet will show you all contains of this operation so that you will not do something that you didn't want to, right? And then once you tap confirm, this will go directly from Phyllis wallet signed to the blockchain so that there will be no trust issues between like a beacon or decentralized application. Let me see. Regarding all help for localization, I will drop a link in our community chats in Telegram, basically, where you can help us to with the localization. Basically, you will most likely even receive some reward in the tokens for it. But yeah, right. So let's continue. We have our last section with the plans and priorities. Let's talk about that. So our release with custom validators and all the features which we have been presenting on the demo today, except this proof of concept, of course, one, we will have this release formed and sent to the App Store and Google Play this week. So we expect this to be available in the best scenario on like Friday or on Thursday, and in the worst scenario, most likely like in the beginning of the next week, because it depends on how quickly App Store engineers and Google Play engineers will review our code before publishing it to the App Store and Google Play. But as for us, we're trying to publish it this week. As for the next sprint, we're planning to continue working on a staking analytics. It's not much to be done. It's not much left to be done in this direction. However, we have some small minor things which we need to also take into the work to complete our staking milestone. Also, in parallel, we'll start working on the multi-asset mode and new networks proposal. Hopefully, Kusama counselors will approve our proposal so that we can basically start working on it. For now, we are waiting for more feedback from counselors and community regarding this proposal. And as for other updates, we're working now together with Subquery on designing and implementing common API for the ecosystem so that other applications can build their apps with much more comfort, right? Because we will provide the API which allow you to fetch the data very easily. For push notifications, we will try to work with Ribena in upcoming weeks because they provided everything for us. What we need to do, we need to basically integrate with this solution and test it. And as for mobile signers bounty, for now we are waiting for Beacon team to make some improvements in their SDK because we have provided the feedback to them. And now we are waiting for this feedback to be implemented. And after that, we will update our solution. And who knows, maybe it will be available in next release of Phyllis Wallet. All right, so that's basically it from my side. If you have any questions, feel free to post them in chat. Or if you want to basically ask your question using your voice, you can just tell it in chat and I will unmute you. And let me check the chat one more time. Yeah, regarding the last question in the chat, suppose something needs to tell the web app that the signing was done and does the web app pull the chain? Yes, those are great questions, sorry. So there are actually two use cases how Beacon allow you to do all this signing and send. First case is considering that you trust Beacon. So once you receive your operation and sign in Phyllis wallet, you send back signed operation to the Beacon, and basically you are praying that Beacon will send it to the blockchain, right? In this case, Beacon understands that this the status of this transaction, right? The second option, which is more preferable for Phyllis wallet because it's trustless, the one when Beacon tells you what needs to be signed, and Phyllis wallet signed this operation and send it directly to the blockchain, and to the Beacon it just responds with the transaction hash, and Beacon now can track this transaction, right, and its status. And most likely, not most likely, we will go with the second option definitely. And basically, we will just tell Beacon that we have signed to send this transaction, and we'll provide the hash of it. Will Phyllis be able to hold XOR or val? Yes. Well, not val, but XOR will be supported pretty much soon, as you can see on the screen, because it will be relatively easy for us to support main token of the network, because all substrate networks treat main tokens almost in the same way, which allows us to connect lots of networks in a relatively short amount of time. So you can see this car token, river token, XOR token. Those most likely will come at the same time, and you will receive update, and you will see all of these tokens available on your account. As for other tokens, like we discussed Moonriver, we discussed Sora network, we discussed Karura network. Those networks, we expect that they will contain like thousands of tokens, right? But for their support, we need to dive deeply into how they're implemented in this specific network, because this is the ground where parachains are doing it individually. So how multi-assets done in Sora is different how multi-assets done in Moonriver and Karura. So all of them have their solutions for that, which requires us to basically speak on different languages with these networks. Release date of this update. Well, on the proposal, we have described to Kusama consorts that whole scope would require us roughly 2 months to implement. But you may expect first updates with multi-assets to be available earlier, let's say like in 4 or 6 weeks, something like that. Just to give you more insights regarding multi-assets in Phyllis wallet, on iOS application, we have tried to connect to, I think it was, if Ruslan is on the call, you can please help me how many networks it was, but it was sort of like 15 different networks, and we were able to fetch the balances of this actually like Karura token, Polkadot token, Moonriver, Sora, and all of these tokens dynamically from the networks, and the balances were working fine. But it was only like prototype solution. Now we need to refine it architecturally. We need to wrap this solution into the user interface so that it will be responsive, it will be not like buggy, it will be beautiful, and so on. So yeah, we have lots of things to do. Regarding the Polkaswap and Phyllis, we will see after this proposal, because there are lots of exciting features in the parachains and in the ecosystem. So we will talk individually with each parachain about integrating their own specific features in Phyllis wallet. What I can say now that these mobile signers will basically allow us to do the thing with any application, including Polkaswap, right? So you would be able to connect to any application. But Polkaswap user interface is something that we are considering as well in Phyllis wallet. All right. Any questions? That's easy to write. Yeah, so I can show you the mockups of analytics feature and what would be available. So just give me a second. So analytics will be divided in 3 parts. First one is rewards. You would be able to see your rewards across different periods like weekly, monthly, and yearly, right? And you will see all the history regarding the period which you have been selecting. Yeah, you can see all these different periods which are available on the mockups. You will be also there will be also possibility to review your stake, how it's changing from time to time, depending on how you treat your balance. When you have stake more, or you have unstake your balance, or some rewards are coming to your staking balance. So this will be represented to the chart as well. So you can see that in this case, staking balance is just flat because it's not changing from time to time. Probably the rewards are coming to another direction. And the last one here would be the validators analytics. This will allow you to analyze your top performing validators, right? Which basically allow you to improve your validator set from within a time, right? You will just keep staking with those top, let's say, 5 validators from your current list, and then you will add more, like 19 more validators, replacing the old ones with whom you have not been staking for a while. So yeah, this will come also with the analytics feature. Analytics will be also visible on staking screen, on main staking screen. So yeah, this will be available just directly on the main screen of the application. Regarding average reward, we had some idea, and most likely we will just deliver it in upcoming updates to display like in certain place of the screen. But yeah, we have been considering showing average reward, sorry. All right, more questions? I think I have addressed all the questions in the chat. So yeah, thanks everyone who joined. Yeah, we have been working very hard for past weeks and hope you will support us in upcoming achievements. So thank you so much for your positive feedback and see you next time. Goodbye.